In Microsoft 365 Defender, the streaming API can ship event information directly to Azure Event Hubs for consumption by visualization services or data processing engines, or to Azure Storage for long-term data retention. It does both through a low-latency, high-throughput delivery mechanism that offers real-time events and alerts from instances in a single data stream. Before getting started, make sure the tenant is registered to use the Microsoft Insights Resource Provider. This is the resource provider namespace for Azure Monitor, which provides features like metrics and activity logs. In the Azure subscription, select Resource Providers, then select Microsoft Insights, followed by Register. I'll wait for registration to complete before continuing. There are two options for streaming events to Azure Event Hubs. The first is to create an Event Hub namespace, and then let Microsoft 365 Defender create an event hub for each event type or table. If you choose this route, the namespace should be part of an Event Hub cluster, so we can create hubs for all 16 event types we offer. The second option is to send all events to a single hub. Start by creating an Event Hub namespace. While you could use an existing Event Hub, throughput and scaling are set at the namespace level, so it's best to put the Event Hub in its own namespace. I'll name this Defender Events and complete the remaining details. Once done, I'll add an Event Hub to the new namespace to send all events to the one hub. If you want to let Microsoft 365 Defender create event hubs for each event type, you should skip this step. I'll name this one simply Defender Hub. The partition count allows for additional throughput via parallel processing, so I recommend that you increase this number based on the load you're expecting. We need the namespace's resource ID to configure it in Microsoft 365 Defender. Then, in the Microsoft 365 Security Center, open Settings and select Microsoft 365 Defender. Next, select Streaming API. Finally, select Add to add the export rule. I chose to send this to an Azure Event Hub and provided the resource ID and name for the hub I previously created. Again, if you want to allow Microsoft 365 Defender to create a hub for each event type, leave this blank. You must also choose the types of events that the streaming API sends. In this case, I want to send all alert, device, and email events. After a time, I can verify that events are streaming into my Event Hub by looking at the graph on the overview page. Everything looks to be working, so done. Next, my organization requires that we keep security-related events for 2 years. To achieve this level of data retention, we'll use the streaming API in Microsoft 365 Defender to send event information to a storage blob in our Azure tenant. From there, to keep the storage as cheap as possible, I can move older data to slower, less expensive storage, or cold storage, and keep the more recent information on faster storage, or hot storage. To get started, I'll need to set up my storage account. In the Azure portal, open Storage Accounts and select Add. I'll name it Defender Data. Complete the storage account wizard and create it. Now to set the Blob Lifecycle policy. In the new storage account, select Lifecycle Management and then Add Rule to specify the retention thresholds. A new file is created in Blob storage for each type of event each hour. This means that we can get very specific with these storage settings because each file contains only an hour's worth of data. All the thresholds we specify are based on the last modified date. We'll name the rule Defender Data and move data to cold storage after 180 days and to the archive after 365 days. Last, I'll remove data that's older than 2 years. Next is to configure the streaming API in Microsoft 365 Defender. To set up the streaming API, I'll need the resource ID from the new storage account. Back in the Microsoft 365 Security Center export settings, select Add, and then provide the details. I'll choose to send this to Azure Storage and paste the storage account's resource ID, which I copied earlier. Our data will be accessible for 2 years and automatically reduce the storage cost for older data until it's automatically purged. The Microsoft 365 Defender Streaming API enables more control over the additional storage and usage of data. You can learn more about the Streaming API on Microsoft Docs.